in geological knowledge. So in the previous video we have discussed the overview of some basic and important economic minerals, and in the previous video we have discussed some basic economic minerals related to copper ore or the iron ore. Okay, and today we will discuss the remaining economic minerals which are of utmost importance. Okay, so today we will discuss the very important pyrite mineral, and the mineral pyrite is iron pyrite, FeS2, that is known as fool's gold, is an iron sulfide with the formula FeS2. Okay, so it's the sulfide ore of iron. It's very important to remember the chemical formula, that is FeS2, and their name in chemical, their chemical formula as well as the chemical name. So chemical name is FeS2, or the sulfide mineral of iron. Okay, and that is known as the fool's gold. So why it's known as fool's gold? Because this mineral's metallic luster and the pale brass yellow hue give its superficial resemblance to gold, hence the nickname fool's gold. Okay, इसका जो लश्चर है, द मिनरल्स मेटेलिक लश्चर एंड द पेल ब्रास येलो ह्यू, इट give it a superficial resemblance to gold. Okay, that's why it's known as fool's gold. The color has also led to the nickname brass, brazel, or primarily used to refer the pyrite found in the coals. Okay, so there are nicknames known as brass, brazel, and they are primarily used to refer the pyrite which is found mainly in the coal. And if we talk about streak, so that is greenish black to brownish black. Streak is greenish black to brownish green. And the next important ore of iron, that is siderite. So siderite is the silicate mineral of iron. Okay, it's mineral composed of Fe2 carbonate, FeCO3. Chemical formula is FeCO3, and it takes its name from the Greek words, that is sideros, that is the means iron. Okay, in Greek terms it's known as sideros, and its meaning is the iron or the Fe. It is a valuable iron mineral since it's 48% of iron and contains no sulfur and phosphorus. Okay, it's valuable because iron mineral, since it is 48% iron and contains no sulfur and the phosphorus, as visible in the chemical formula, that is FeCO3, that is the carbonate mineral of iron. And both magnesium and manganese commonly substitute for the iron. Okay, magnesium Mg as well as the manganese Mn, they both commonly substitute for iron. Siderite has a Mohs scale of hardness 3.75 to 4.25, a specific gravity of 3.96, and a white streak. That is most important property of siderite, that is its streak, that is white streak. Okay, and vitreous luster or pearly luster. Its luster is vitreous as well as pearly luster. Its crystal system belong to the hexagonal system, and the rhombohedral is shape. So crystal system is hexagonal, and the shape is the rhombohedral shape, typically with curve and striated faces. जो इसके faces होते हैं, those are striated faces, and it also occur in the masses. And if we talk about the color, so color ranges from yellow to dark brown or black, the latter being due to the presence of manganese. Okay, then later one, that is the black, so that is because of the presence of manganese, sometimes called the magnosiderite. Okay, magnosiderite. So if we talk about colors, that is from pale to yellow to dark brown. But if we talk about streak, so that is white streak. So that is the distinguishing property of siderite to identify it in the field. Okay, and next one is pyrolusite, a very important ore of copper, that is the oxide mineral. Okay, formula being the MnO2. Pyrolusite is important ore of manganese, MnO2, and color is darkish black to light gray and sometimes bluish in color. And if we talk about crystal habit, so that is granular to massive bohydral and dendritic pattern, or the crystals are rare. Okay, crystal system is tetragonal, hardness is 6 to 6.5. Two when massive, there are two hardness, one is 6 to 6.5, but when it occurs in the massive form, its hardness is 2. And luster is metallic, dull to earthy, and streak is black to bluish black. Specific gravity is 4.5 to 5.6. And next important mineral of manganese, that is the silomalene. So crystal system is orthorhombic, fracture is uneven, hardness being 5 to 6, specific gravity is 4.5 to 4.67. luster is submetallic, streak is brownish black. And if we talk about habit, so that is massive or the bitroidal and stylistic habit. And if we talk about occurrences, so as secondary minerals formed by the weathering of manganese carbonate or the silicate minerals, so they are occurred as the secondary minerals which are formed by the weathering of the manganese carbonate or the silicate minerals. And rhodonite, okay, so that is also an ore of manganese. Okay, and the next more important and the most important one is the bauxite mineral. Okay, so lateritic bauxites, these are known as silicate bauxites, are distinguished from karst bauxite ores or the carbonate bauxites. So there are two varieties, that is lateritic bauxite, which is the formula or the composition is silicate bauxites, and the other one is karst bauxite ores, which are the carbonate bauxites. So the early discovered carbonate bauxites, they occur predominantly in the Europe and the Jamaica above the carbonate rocks. Okay, that is limestone and the dolomite. So where they were occurring primarily, so they were primarily or the early discovered carbonate bauxite in Europe as well as the Jamaica and above the carbonate rocks. And which were the carbonate rocks? Limestone as well as the dolomite, where they were formed by lateritic weathering and residual accumulation of the intercalated clays by clay dissolution residue of the limestone. Okay, and there are some basic properties of that. They are formed by laterization of various silicate rocks such as granite, gneiss, basalt, syenite and shale. And in comparison with the iron rich laterite, the formation of bauxite depends even more on the intense weathering conditions in a location with very good drainage pattern. Okay, this enables the dissolution of the kaolinite and the precipitation of the gibbsite. So, okay, so in comparison with the iron rich laterite, the formation of bauxite completely are more depend upon the even on the intense weathering conditions in location with very good drainage pattern. Okay, so they enables the dissolution of kaolinite as well as the precipitation of gibbsite. Zones with the highest aluminum content are frequently located below a ferruginous surface layers. Okay, so the zones which are higher aluminous region or which are highly aluminous, they are frequently located below a ferruginous layer. The aluminium hydroxide is the laterite bauxite deposited in almost exclusively gibbsite. Is almost exclusively gibbsite. Bauxite is the ore mineral, the main source of aluminium. We all know. Bauxite is variety of laterite. Is a variety of laterite or the residual sedimentary rock. So it has no precise chemical formula. Okay, because it's the variety of laterite. Okay, residual sedimentary rock, and it's composed mainly of hydrated alumina minerals such as gibbsite. Okay, AlOH whole thrice or Al2O3.3s2. So gibbsite formula is AlOH whole thrice or the Al2O3.3s2, means 3 molecules of water in newer tropical subdeposits. So they are formed in the tropical regions. In older subtropical temperature, some older subtropical temperate deposits, the major minerals are bohemite, that is YaLOOH or the Al2O3.H2O, and the diaspore alpha. sorry, bohemite is gamma AlOH or the Al2O3.H2O, and diaspore is alpha AlOH or the Al2O3.H2O. See, so bohemite is gamma Al2O3 AlOH, and the diaspore is the alpha AlOH. So you have to remember is which one is gamma and which one is the diaspore. And the average chemical composition of bauxite by weight is 45 to 60% over Al2O3 and 20 to 30% of Fe2O3. So both are occurring, means in average composition of bauxite they occur by weight is 45 to 60% Al2O3 and 20 to 30% of Fe2O3. So besides it's very important to understand the process of bauxite formation, that how they are being formed, because it's generally asked in the papers that how they are formed and what are the required conditions for the formation of bauxite. So the conditions which are very necessary for the formation of bauxites, so the source rock must be rich in alumina. So first and very important requirement for bauxites to form is the source of rock must be rich in alumina, number one. And the climate of deposition means the climate where the ore is being deposited, it must be humid tropical or the subtropical, means humid tropical or subtropical. And there should be abundant precipitation to cause the breakdown of rock silicates, means the precipitation should be high enough to break down the rock silicates and the solution of silica at specific pH EH conditions. Okay, precipitation should be high and the solution of silica at specific EH pH condition should be there, and the terrain should be flat to permit slow down downward infiltration. The terrain should also be flat which will permit the slow down downward infiltration. Okay, so these are some fundamental or the fundamental requirements for the formation of bauxite in any deposit. Okay, and if we talk about their origin, so bauxite deposits are residual in the origin. They are formed at or near the surface by weathering under tropical or subtropical climate. And if we talk about deposits, so they are produced from the rocks which are rich in aluminium. Okay, they are formed from the rocks or produced from such type of rocks which are generally rich in alumina. And what these are rocks, which type of rocks are there? Granite, syenite, gneiss or the seals, basalts, which are richer in the alumina. And what happens during the process? During the weathering, the rock silicates are broken down and silica is removed. Silica is completely removed, as well as the iron is partially removed, means silica is 100% removed and iron content is partially removed, means some amount of iron content is there. As we have written in the slide, that is the average composition, chemical composition of bauxite by weight is 45 to 60% Al2O3 and 20 to 30% of Fe2O3, means the hematite. So that is remaining, that iron is partially removed, silica is completely removed and iron is partially removed, and alumina along with the titanium and other ferric oxides become concentrated in the residual. So that this alumina rich solid material, that is known as the bauxites. Okay, so this was about the bauxite. And the important things to remember is the conditions of the formation, means in which type of climate it's formed, and what are the abundant precipitation, that how much precipitation should be there and how the terrain should be. Okay, and the source rock should, how the source rock should be. So these are important factors which are necessary to the formation of bauxite. And next important deposit or the mineral, that is the laterite. Laterite is basically the soil. We all know that soil classification, so lateritic soil is also important to remember. And laterites are soil types which are rich in iron and aluminium. Okay, basically they are not deposit or the iron ore of any metal, but they are the soil types which are very rich in the some minerals, some ore minerals like iron as well as the aluminium, which are generally formed in the hot and wet tropical areas. Nearly all laterites are rusty red because of the iron oxides. This is also important, that why the laterite soil, you all have read about the laterite soil, and the color of the laterite soil is generally red because of the rusty red, because of the iron oxide. The content of iron oxide give the red color, okay, rusty red color. And they develop by the intensive or long lasting weathering of underlying parent rock. Okay, the weathering process, long lasting weathering process give rise to the formation of laterite soil. Tropical weathering, that is the laterization. Okay, laterization is a prolonged process of chemical weathering which produces a wide variety of thickness in the thickness, grade and chemistry and ore mineralogy of the resulting soils. Okay, the majority of land area covering laterite is between tropic of Cancer to the tropic of Capricorn. So majority of the land area containing the laterite that occurs between the tropics, means tropic means the area in between the tropic of Cancer to the tropic of Capricorn. Okay, and the thick laterites layers are porous as well as slightly permeable. जो laterites layers हैं, they are basically porous as well as the slightly permeable, so the layers can function as aquifers in rural areas. Okay, that's why water pumping is easy, because they are permeable and slightly pervious, porous as well as slightly permeable also. Locally available laterites are used in acid solution, followed by the precipitation remove phosphorus and heavy metals at sewage treatment facilities. Okay, laterites are also a source of aluminium ore. The ore exists largely in clay minerals, and the hydroxides, gibbsite, bohemite, and diaspore, which resembles the composition of bauxites. So laterites, as we have discussed, that is not a mineral, but that is a soil which is the house for the deposition of several ore minerals. In Northern Ireland, they once provided a major source of iron and aluminium ores. Okay, so that's the importance of laterite soils. So this was our discussion about the economic minerals, basic economic minerals, and their distinguishing properties on the basis of which are being distinguished in the field. So it's quite important to remember the distinguishing property and the some characteristic properties. Okay, thank you.